how to be happy all the time. I seen in the search engine that a lot of people are searching that up. It kind of breaks my heart a little bit because it just shows that there are a lot of people out there that are struggling a lot with their mental health. At the same time, it is a beautiful thing though, because we're trying to find ourselves, and we find ourselves through, or find the happiness, and we find happiness through finding ourselves and doing the inner work and healing and trying our best to just love ourselves through the hard, difficult days. But I just want to say that there is no such thing as being happy all the time. That can lead to toxic positivity. It's not about being happy all the time, it's about becoming aware of your emotions and knowing how to understand your emotions and love yourself and be empathetic with yourself through this healing journey, right? You're going to be triggered. And that's not to say that, and I've said this in a previous video, there's 90% of the time where you're not triggered, where you're happy, where you're chill, and then there's still that 10% where you will be triggered. And this is, when you've done the inner work too, because maybe at one point it was 50-50, then it was 70-30, right? And now it's 90-10. I don't think it's ever going to be 100%. I don't think you're always going to be 100% happy, because we are human and we function through our emotions, and we have a nervous system, and we have a brain, and we have a heart. Like, we have emotions within us that are meant to be felt. We're meant to feel our emotions. So it's not about ignoring your emotions. It's not about ignoring, the negative feelings or never wanting to be sad. It's about honoring your emotions, becoming aware of it, right? Because you can't fix something that you're not aware of. But at the same time, like, using whatever it is that is here that you're feeling to help understand yourself on a deeper level. It's helping you understand who you are on a deeper level, these emotions, this anger, this frustration, this sadness, because it's okay to feel the things that you feel. It's okay to feel the things that you feel. However, I think along this journey, it's about understanding our actions so then we don't project and hurt other people with how we feel. But it's okay to sit with your emotions and feel them and know that you're human and that there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you because you feel this. You're not broken. You're not different in that sense. You're like everybody else. We all feel this. And I think that a lot of people might put up a front a lot easier that they don't deal with it rather than other people, because I'm somebody who does express my emotions, and at the same time I'm somebody who holds it in. So I've seen both sides of the spectrum of that, but we're all feeling this, my friend. We're all feeling this. It's about understanding when you are feeling this and practicing. Every time you practice to confront these emotions in a healthier way, every time you do it over and over and over again, it becomes a little easier. And maybe some days along this journey, a year, 2 years along this journey, when you're happy, you might get triggered and you might feel as if you took 100 steps backwards. But you didn't, my friend. You didn't. And that's the thing about emotions, is you can totally be fucking happy and you can feel as if everything is daisies and rainbows, but at the same time it'll be the littlest things at the most randomest days that might be triggering you. And you might feel as if you need to be so hard on yourself because you thought you moved past this. You thought that this was something that you've dealt with, that you've healed. But at the same time, you're human. And sometimes we get triggered, and that's okay. That's really okay. Some days you're able to deal with it easier, and some days you're not, and that's okay. It's about making space for what you're feeling, becoming aware, and you don't need to deal with it right away. Feel it, sit with it, love yourself through it, right? Don't just try to handle it and get over it, because then you're still not really feeling it. Feel it and sit with it and understand yourself, right? And when you do that, whenever you're ready, you can now let go and move past it, because healing and moving past things, it's about letting go also. Because when you hold on to things, you form an attachment, and that attachment might form resentment or hurt, and it's stuck energy. And when you feel and you love yourself, and then whenever you're ready, you decide to move forward and let it go, that's when the magic happens, I suppose. That's when you've seen yourself and you've realized that you're able to handle these emotions in a better way than you previously did. And see, that's the beauty of it, is it's not about always being happy or never being triggered. It's the fact that now when you are triggered or when you're not happy, you're dealing with it differently. You know, this emotion isn't fucking up your life to the point to where you are self-destructive and you crash out and it's fucking with you for days and days on end, or months on end, honestly. It's the fact that you can become aware of it, and maybe a few days, right? Or a day or an hour, whatever it is, it's different. It's not always going to be the same. But it hurts you and then you deal with it. Or you love yourself and then you let it go. And then you move forward. And so that's when you realize, or that's what you need to become aware of, you do deal with it differently. You do handle it differently. It's not about always being happy. It's about about the fact that, you know, maybe most of the time you are happy, but maybe sometimes you're not. We go through emotions, we go through waves where we are, where we're not. You're in a different part of your life, you're in a different season, you're in a different chapter, and in this chapter, you know how to love yourself through, you know, the not so positive days. You know how to be there for yourself through the not so positive days. And maybe in the past you would abandon yourself. Maybe in the past you weren't there. And I don't know, I think that that's really fucking brave and beautiful, is to see how you are able to handle these emotions. So yeah, it's not about always being positive. And if you do want to be positive, and if you are trying to do self care and self love, because you can do these things, you can do the inner work in order to calm your nervous system and, you know, help with your sadness or your anger. And when you practice and do these things and do the inner work, you do end up actually rewiring your subconscious mind, and you're able to react differently versus how you did previously. And so then, you know, you are happier, I suppose. You know, like when you do the inner work, you do become more happier. It's about, yes, doing the inner work and loving yourself and doing whatever that means for you. Self-care, putting yourself first, taking yourself on dates, doing affirmations, meditating, going out in nature, loving yourself through your dark days, going to the gym, whatever the fuck it is to help yourself. Reading books, journaling, trying to react to a negative situation differently over and over and over again until you react the way that you prefer to react, the way that makes you feel happy, right? You can do those things. Yes, and that will, you know, increase your happiness. You know, if you are somebody who wants to be happy most of the time, and if you're trying to do the inner work, but if you are somebody who is trying to be happy and trying to do the inner work, the way that I've done it is slowly throughout the years. I would realize the things that were hurting me or the people that were hurting me, and majority of the time it was me allowing mistreatment. So I had to practice putting myself first and saying no and doing things that made me feel like I loved myself. That looks different for everybody, honestly. It really does. And so you just keep practicing and practicing and practicing. And, you know, this is almost 10 years for me consciously doing it. In the first 6 years, it was hard. 7 years, I was still trying to understand what that looked like. And that's not to discourage anybody, because everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey is different, but I was still trying to figure out what the fuck that meant. But slowly, as the years went on, I got to understand myself, and I became happier because I started loving myself and not allowing mistreatment, catering to my emotions, my depression or my anxiety when I had it. I still do have a little anxiety, but my depression back then and my anger, I would become aware of it and cry. I would cry when I needed to cry. But at the end of the day, I, you know, unknowingly would use affirmations and, you know, say that I'm strong enough, say that I'm going to get through it. Like there was a few years where I would just drive around in my car and just fucking cry to music. I would cry to music because for me that was healing. I didn't really know that that's what I was doing, but it was healing because crying is releasing those tears, that energy. I started just being by myself more often and listening to music, or just I don't just doing things that made me feel like me. Like I said, that looks different for everybody. So, yeah, start doing that. That's where you can start. And it takes time. Okay, you're not gonna, after a day everything is gonna be solved. It takes time, and that's the beauty of this is you can see yourself through the different chapters of your life growing. And yes, when you do start to love yourself more because you are radiating that energy, it's going to be shown back at you in your external world. Because I've said this previously, the universe is a mirror, it gives you more of what you are. So naturally, you will start calling in, that positive life that you want, and it's beautiful. And there is beauty in the hardships, though. I want to remind you that there is beauty in the struggles, there is beauty in the trauma, there is beauty in the difficult days that you didn't think you were going to overcome, but you overcame. And like, yeah, it's not about being positive all the time. Like I said, 90% maybe you will be, 10% you won't. But it's about loving yourself and embracing your emotions and becoming aware of it, and just knowing how to handle these emotions in a healthier way than you previously did. And it just takes repetition. That's all it is. It takes repetition. Okay, that's all, my friends. If you're on the journey, just know that you're amazing and you're very strong and you're very powerful, no matter what anybody says. And I love you. You're brave. Um, yeah, okay. I will, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you can give it a thumbs up or subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And you're more than welcome to be a part of my family here. But yeah, I love you, my friends, and I will see you all next video. Bye, everybody.